on the left side, you know, after 20 years and $10,000 saved, you ended up, well, I guess the way y'all got this work, after 20 years you get 4% basically. In the first 20 years it's a negative percent over here on the left side. On the right side, average about 10% after 20 years, and all along the way. And then on the left side you got 10,000 saved when, and then on the right side 50. So it'd be sort of crazy to bank here, would it not? But you know what we found over the years that tons and tons of people do this. They don't know it, but they do this. They get sold this because it's considered cash value life insurance. So you have to borrow your own money and charge you 8% to borrow your own money. And so insurance companies sell this. There's about 800 different insurance companies, and it's their number one seller. They don't sell term insurance as their number one thing. They sell this because it's not really good for the consumer, but it's very good for the company. I mean, for them, absolutely. Because if they're doing this, then what's happening is that they're doing this to people that they're investing the money over here, and they're earning that difference. You remember when she was just showing you, Lori was showing the Rule 72, it's a huge difference, you know, the difference in here and here. That's basically what they're doing. So, you know, this doesn't make a legal sense to borrow your own money. When you die, they keep your money and get a very poor rate of return, and it doesn't build any money in the first few years. So what that is called cash value whole life insurance. Here's an example of that on the left side. Husband and wife, $150,000 on the left. We do term insurance, it's a lot less, $300,000 on the husband and wife here, and $25,000 on each of the kids for less than half what they're paying on the left side. So, and again, don't have to borrow their money over here on the right. When you die, they didn't keep the money. So take that difference and save it, and end up with $500,000 saved here, end up with less than $40,000 over here. 40 here, $500,000 here. Now, just to give you a couple more numbers, if you had $40,000, you were earning 4%, you'd have $1,600 a year over here in interest off of that, right? So if you're earning 10% of $500,000, that's $51,000 on the right side. So retire on $50,000 over here, retire on $1,600 a year over here. But insurance companies sell this, and they sell it on the fact that you retire with it. They sell it on the fact that when your kids get to be 18 and they're ready to go to college, it's a great college plan. But the only way to get the money is to borrow your own money. Charge you 8% to borrow your own money. Then when you die, it doesn't matter how much cash you got built up over here. You got a $150,000 policy, they keep it. You know, I was raised in the hills of Tennessee. I live back there now. And a lot of my kid folks, and I'm going to do that down here because y'all got a water table right below the ground. But up there, they'll dig a hole in the ground, bury the money in the ground, you know. I'm from the redneck side of Tennessee. And so they bury the money, you know, and they're smarter, actually, than people who buy this because if they remembered where they buried it, they get out and not leave it to some insurance company. And then when they die, nobody's going to keep it and they don't have to borrow it.
And at least somebody's going to find out where that is eventually.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll tell you a real funny story about my dad, and so you'll really know I'm a redneck. When I was just a child, 8 or 9 years old, he built a little cabin on the lake on the Tennessee River up there. And he was collected coins and things, so he had nickels and bags, and he had dimes and quarters and stuff. And so I was like 8 years old, and he put them in the walls, and then he sheetrocked of the wall, you know. Well, everything was great, you know, for a few years, but then when I was like 14, the guy who wired the house in didn't do it quite right, and it burnt down. And, so then it was funny you can say that, because then my dad was out there with a metal detector running around trying to find his money. But you know, insurance companies just make a fortune off of this, and it just makes much more sense to do it this way. But we're just going to show you a couple of ways that we save people money. We have about a dozen ways that we help people, okay? But for time's sake here tonight, we're just going to do 2 or 3 of those. So just know that if you set a time, and I hope you will, set a time with the person invited you, let them sit down and coach you and see if there's some areas that we can free up monies for you to save and that kind of thing, because we do a lot of different ways where we help people. You know, like it's saying here, thank you very much. Like it's saying here, our target is to help everybody. But the problem is, we've been working really hard. We've been in business for 38 years, and we've only got less than 2% of the market. So, you want a drink? She got milk. We'll get you some, I promise. Well, you know, so we need a lot of help, like he's saying here, to get the word out, because very few people know, you know, about our business and what we really do, and so there's a huge need. Years ago, I lived in West Point, Georgia, and West Point Stevens is a sheet and towel manufacturer. Maybe you've heard of it back in the day. And when I moved there, I went in their home office, and they had a plaque on the wall that said that you probably sleep on our sheets and dry off with our towels because we provide 42% of the world in sheets and towels. And that was about 25 years ago. Okay. And when I went in there, and it wasn't 15 years later, they were shutting down and selling what little they did have, and they moved it over to India and that kind of thing. And so, the business is almost zilch now. And so the point I'm making is that, you know, businesses can take dips and whatnot, but we've only got 2% of the market, but yet we have more people making $100,000 a year than any other company, corporation in the world. No doubt about it. We're in financial services, and we're more so than anything, people are more interested in our business now than they ever have been, because people want to get out of debt, they want to save money, they want to be able to retire soon, they want to be able to, you know, do a number of things, you know, college and that with their kids. So here's an example of some of the companies that we work with, and we don't have the best, like life insurance that was mentioned a minute ago. We don't have the best, we partner with the best. There's no doubt about it. So, like we do 401ks here with Dean, we do, and mutual funds with all these different companies here, Invesco, Pioneer, Lake Mason, Franklin, Templeton. Have our own company, we do the primary legal protection. Genworth is a GE company, and we do long-term care with them, with helping people like my age and up, or Randy. Anyway, I'm not quite there yet, Randy is. Actually, I'm a few years older than Randy. But we coach people on auto and home. We shop 20-something companies at one time. One of the other things that will be adding here very soon, we just got in the health insurance business, and we're doing amazing things. Just started a few weeks ago, actually. But we shop 10 companies at one time. And we're explaining Obamacare, which nobody understands. Nobody can explain it. They just say, give me your money, basically is what they say. And so there's a huge need. I mean, a huge need to educate the public about how it works and give them choices, you know. So a lot of people that are working jobs are going to be able to do healthcare with us because of the subsidies and whatnot, because Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act is paying for a big chunk of that. We will get paid commission on both ends of that, not just on what the client pays, but what the government kicks in also. So there's an amazing amount of money to be made there, and we'll be partnering with 10 of
wow, I
these
didn't
companies
realize
out
that.
there.
Holy cow.
Down, okay? So we've all big blue chip companies. We do managed accounts here with Lockwood. We do Equifax and Debt Watchers and Freedom Financial to help people get out of debt. So we got a number of different ways we can help people. And so what's exciting about that is you're not in business with just one company like that towel and sheet thing. If that goes out, you know, you're not with it. You got about 10 different businesses in one. So for most people used to work like this, you know, like Randy, when he first started talking to you, he said something about, you know, go to college, get a good degree, get a good job with a good company, and then retire with them. And that's what most people, was that what your parents told you pretty much, and pretty much everybody in that? How many of y'all were told a little different to get in business for yourself? You were, I know, yeah. You were? Okay. You know, I talked to a lot of different groups because I've got 34 offices spread out in the Southeast. And so I talk to a lot of groups and do presentations like this. And it never fails. I might have one or maybe two, but most of the time I don't have anybody in the crowd that their parents were smart enough to tell them that's what you ought to do. Everybody else, you know, they say go this way. Now, I'm not beating up on college. College is a good thing, gets people to think, gets people to finish things. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think, you know, you may want to think about being in business for yourself because most of the wealth is over here on this side of the fence. Work for a company and whatnot. You know, I was fortunate. I was taught at a very young age, get in business. You know, I was like her. At 8 years old, I started cutting yards. I did one across the street, and then at 10, I had 4 yards. And then when I was 12, I had a riding lawnmower that I made enough money, and I was selling cheesecakes, but I was making money too. And, you know, it's pretty neat that I was taught to work early on. You know, and so when I got in the real world working, it was a piece of cake. Everybody had a piece of cheesecake. You know, it was because in the real world, most people didn't work, you know, and then I realized if I just worked, all I had to do was find the right vehicle. And when I ran across this, it was all game on, you know. Because what I did before, though, I was a real estate agent, was one of the things I did before. And so my parents owned a real estate company, and I thought I knew a lot about real estate. So I went out and bought one old house, and I overfinanced it. I was 20 years old, or 19 years old. And then the next year I bought 2. And then I got 4, and then 8. I kept doubling, buying more and more. By the time I was 24, I had 44 houses.
Wow.
And so my family wasn't wealthy. Now, don't think, you know, they wasn't wealthy. I wasn't wealthy. I just was bold. I would dress up in a suit, which I don't do now, and I'd go into the bank and they'd loan me money. You know? and then I would buy more, and I'd keep going. And so anyway, I kept going until what happened was after just interest rates. Nobody here is really old enough to remember this, except Randy. That interest rates got in 1982. They got out of sight. They went over 18% at one point on house mortgages. So you know, house mortgages now 3-4%, 5 maybe. You know, house mortgages then were 18. Okay. So the industry sort of shut down for a little while, for a few years. And there I was in that industry, shut down, and I was hard work. I tried to be a good Christian kid and work hard. And then I turned around and caught myself after selling all the houses. I didn't want to go bankrupt. I still had $500,000 in debt. And I was 25 years old. And so a buddy of mine showed me this, and he said, "Look, you ought to be in business." And I said, "Well, I've done that, and it didn't work for me." I was sort of bitter about it, actually. You know, I was like somebody 60 years old and then had, you know, several jobs and maybe several businesses, and just bitter about it. And so I thought, man, you know, that may be okay for you, but not for me. But after I looked at it a little more, I said, well, the concepts work. They seem like they help people. And then they started showing me some other things. They started showing me how you can get in business, and you don't have to put a big capital. You don't have to go borrow money and all that kind of stuff. They said, look, you know, the very little capital, no big investment, unless $100, really, which is crazy. I think they'll charge more than that, because the licensing fees alone are about $1,000. And so all they have people is just put a fraction of that in, just so that they're in good standing, or just so that they got a little skin in the game, I guess. Another thing that happens is you don't have to have the knowledge. My oldest daughter, Carrie, she's got a good friend that, you know how with your phones they have some people come up with these apps. Okay, and about 6-8 years ago, he comes up with his app, and it's pretty popular. And so in 2 years, he made like $300,000. And then next year then it went down a little bit to 100,000, and then it went down to 15,000, and then now he makes almost nothing off that app, okay? Because somebody else came up with a little better idea, and you know. But during that time, he thought he was going to get rich, and so he hires all these people, and they're in the room trying to come up with more apps, and then they never come up with another great idea, and so now he's out of business and shut down.
Wow.
And money. So, I mean, you got to have the knowledge, but, you know, with most businesses, but see, Primerica's got it all figured out. You don't have to be a brainiac, you know, that's proof of being, I keep picking on Randy, but, you know, he's far enough back the road that he can't get to me. So I'm definitely not going to pick on these people right here. But, you know, you don't have to be brilliant or very smart, you know, because the company's got it all figured out. You don't have to have a bunch of capital because they're worth several $billion. And then the fear, there's really no risk. You can start part-time. Most companies won't let you start part-time. Our company will. You can start part-time, keep your regular job, try it. If you like it, if you start doing well, then you make a transition over. And if you don't, you know, you learn a bunch about money and you help some people along the way. Now, let's talk about it just a little bit more. Are you interested in building a business at Primerica? Well, one, you get to set your own hours and keep your own schedule, which is really wonderful. Number 2, you have unrestricted territory, so you don't have to be restricted just to Orlando or Claremont or wherever you live here. You can go anywhere in Florida, anywhere in the United States, where your family is back home, wherever that is. You know, you have an opportunity to earn as much as you want with no caps on what you make. So, you know, just like me, I had a 2-year degree. in bush planting. So I could probably cut your yard, or I could get the weeds out of the bed out there. You know, that would be my forte, I guess. But it took me 3 years to get it. So when I went through all that debt, I had all that debt, and I was trying to figure out how could I pay for it. I started interviewing different jobs. And I was honest, I was trying to be a good Christian kid, and I took my resume and I printed out all the stuff, and so I put down all 7 jobs I'd had in 7 years, and I put the 3 years it took me to get a 2-year degree. And so I was honest. And then when I go in to interview, they just sort of laugh at me or never call me back, you know, and so, you know, nobody's going to hire me and pay me any decent money. And so one wonderful thing about this, you can earn as much as you want to make. You know, I've been blessed with Randy and Lori just going over 100. I've got 22 people now, 22 people in my team that make 100+ thousand a year. I know I don't look at, you know, and I don't act it, I know, but I've been blessed. I found a business that works, and I'm a hard worker, and then because of that, I've found some other people like Randy and Lori and some others that are going to do big things. Some of y'all in the room, I know, are going to do big things. So anyway, you know, the other thing about it is you work with who you want. You know, your spouse. I mean, my mom was my partner when I first started. She was helping me out, and you don't have to have a partner, but it's nice to have 2 people working a common goal. And you know, so you know, it could be a brother, sister, whatever. But here's an example. If you went out and helped 2 clients, like what Lori was showing you with the insurance and investments. If you went out, each client would pay you about $1,000. If you rolled over $50,000 in a rollover, I had a lady call me just while I was sitting out there a little while ago, and she wants to roll over $100,000. Well, you're retired from a job. Well, $100,000 will pay me at my level $2,500. Somebody in the division, it would pay about $1,500. So, do a rollover and a life insurance policy. Let's just say a term policy, make about $2,000. Well, I don't know about you, but when I saw this, I thought, well, $2,000 extra above and beyond my regular pay, that would do wonders for my budget, you know. That would make it where I could eat, you know, and make it where I could do something, you know. But, you know, $2,000, what would that do for your budget? What would you do if you had an extra $2,000? Or what if you had just an extra $1,000 coming in? You you take $200 and, you know, save it, you know, like Lori was showing you, or Randy was showing you earlier. Take $200 and pay on debt, get out of debt quicker. Take $200 and put it toward a vacation fund, and then you got $2,400 added to where you're going to do. Then you don't have to stop at Disney World. You can keep on going, you know, and get on a cruise ship or go to Hawaii or somewhere. You might not get back for that, but you can get over there for that. But an extra $2,400 would make a big difference, you know. And so anyway, I'm just saying that an extra couple thousand would make a big difference. But, you know, you move up the ladder, like Chantel's done out here, moving up to regional leader. And Richard, I think, is very close to moving up that level. And let's see, Reba's not far away. William, I mean, there's several of y'all not far away from being this regional leader level at division already. Once you go to that level and you go out and help 1 client a month, 4 clients a month, 1 a week, personally, you'll make about $4,000 a month doing that. You build 2 people, you build two go-getters, like we've got one right here, you know, and you build 2 districts that go out and do 6 a month, then you'll make about $1,800 a month there, almost $2,000 there. Add the 2 together, and not quite $6,000 almost. Now at that point, most people will look at this and say, okay, I'm in, you know, I'm full-time with you, and especially if you made this for a few months and you save money and then you jump into a business with us and you really get going. So, you know, here's another example. I used to work in real estate. I know Lori used to work in real estate too. And y'all probably familiar with this. If a real estate broker hires a few agents here. He's got 5 agents. Each one of them go out and sell 1 house a month. Okay, then what happens is the agent gets about 50% commission. The broker usually gets about 50%. The selling agent, the listing agent. So bottom line is the agent will make about $3,000, but the broker will make an override of about $3,000. So if you had 5 agents and each do 1 a month, 5 times 3, 1,000 would be $15,000 a month for that broker. Now, so looking at that, which would make more sense? Would you rather be an agent or a broker if you had the choice? Probably the broker, would you not? I mean, because you could be sitting over here on the beach while they're making a sale during the course of a month, or being on a cruise or somewhere else. You know, maybe you recruited them, you trained them, you got them going, but they make a sale, and then you're making the overrides off of that. Well, when I saw that, I thought, wow, you know, the real estate business, when I was in it, it was just so tough. It was so up and down, and leaky faucets, and mortgages couldn't get it in, and appraisals didn't appraise, and all that kind of thing. And I thought, Primerica don't have any of that. You know, it's got a little bit of stuff like any business, but not none major things, you know. And so what's neat about this is you go recruit and build a team of people and do the same thing and get 5 people doing that. And you got 10 clients coming in a month from a couple of regional leaders. You're bringing in 3 clients, about 12 a month total. And then your income, 6,000 there, 6,000 there, bonuses another 1,300. Now you're making 14,000, right at $14,000 a month, you know, or over 170-something thousand a year.
Yeah.
Most people don't make 70,000 a year on their regular job. Would you agree? I mean, the average income's not near that. So if you had, say you made 70, and you went to work with us, and now you got 170 coming in, and you were making 70. Now I was talking about an extra 200 or an extra 1,000 a month. But what if you had an extra 100,000?
Yeah.
That would probably get you pretty excited. I mean, I know it did me. I'd always dreamed. I thought, you know, I want to make 6-figure income, and not to be greedy or not to be focused on money, and not necessarily put God first, put money first. We put God first, family second. But I wanted to make money too. I thought, why not? You know. And this company offered me an opportunity. When I saw it, they had not a book like this, but they had one little brochure that would be like 4 pages here. They had 58 pages like this. They had about 4 pages, and there were 58 people total in the book or brochure when I joined the company in 1982 that made $100,000. And I thought, well, maybe it's going to be over pretty soon. And I was so wrong, because people are more in debt now. They need insurance way more than they ever did. They're buying the wrong stuff. And then they need to retire. And so what's happened is, because there's such a need, and we've only got 2% of the market now, by the way. Since there's such a need now, there's a whole book full of people that make 100,000 or more. All these folks here make 100 to 250. You get toward the middle of the book, and you find people that make 250 to 500. My brother is in this category. I've got a little niece over here in this category.
Yeah.
And then because they're in that category, and I was fortunate enough to recruit them, I'm in this category. You know, this is me and my wife here. And so we're in the 5 to 750, and we're fixing to move out of that. I've decided I'm moving out, Lori.
Yeah.
And I'm not going backwards. I'm going over this way, because the book, as you get, the pictures get a little bigger as you go through. These people make 750 to $1 million, and then all these people here make $1 million or more. Just average, ordinary people, all walks of life. You know, you name it. Some of these people make $2 and $3 and $4 million. So if you're a big thinker, you can literally change your life here. So I would encourage you to not just take a little look at this. I would encourage you to try it. You know, the worst thing that happened to you is you'll learn a bunch about money. Second thing that happened is you might change your whole way of life. You know, here's an example of how these people moved over toward the front of that book. They still went out and did personal, some decent numbers, but they've got the team doing, the base shop team, but they created these RVPs, 5 regional vice presidents, people that were making 100,000, and with them making 100, each one that they created, they made about 3,000 per month, about 40,000 a year of each one of those that they recruited. And by doing that, add that to their income here, now their income is right at 30,000 a month. Now here's an example of some people that you might know. You might see, and there they are. These people were wholesale lenders and credit card processors back in the day, and from Orlando, Florida originally, and so they have ripped it up. And look at there, they are on their way to making 200, 300, 400, 500 y'all way. Y'all are in the right team, by the way. You were in the right team, I guarantee you. Here's another young man that started right out of college, so everybody's not old and ugly like me. And you know, so he started right out of college, and you know, 5 years later, this is his income. You know, so here's a young man that last just a few months ago turned 30 years old. Okay, he's a millennium kid. Him and his wife, just actually this slide is even on. Just went over 1.2, fixed to go over $1.3 million, and he just turned 30 years old. So it's not just old bald-headed folks. There's a bunch of folks that that do very well. You win company trips. I mean, it's amazing where you get to go. Randy and Lori have been to Elkin Hinston a couple of times now, been to Hawaii. Ritz-Carlton down here in Naples, and then there's trips all over the world. I mean, I think I've been on 74 trips in the 30 years I've been into it. It's more than 2 a year. And my kids got to go. I got 3 daughters. I'm really blessed. I've got 3 daughters, and they've been all over the world, And I remember when I was a kid, and they were teaching us about world history. I failed it the first time. Actually, I had to sit through summer school because I wasn't interested in it or geography and all that kind of stuff because I'd never been anywhere. When I was a kid, we didn't have any monies, and we came to Florida, I think, once, and we came to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina once in a homemade trailer, and that was it. And so I didn't know what the world was like. I'd never been anywhere, and so our kids are spoiled totally. I mean, they've been all over the world many times now. So pretty amazing. And here's how you start. It's not a very hard thing at all. If money's tight for you, you can even post-date this out. But basically, they want $99 for an application and background check fee. And then if you decide you don't want to do it for any reason, the company will give you back $69 or $99, and I'll give you back the other $30 because I don't want anybody to not be happy that looks at this and get started with us. So, I mean, if money's tight, like I said, you can post-date a check to payday, do a debit or credit card, so whatever you need to do. But I would encourage you to try it. I mean, the worst thing that happen to you is you'll learn a bunch about money. The second thing that's happen is you'll help some friends and family. And the third thing is you make some part-time income. And the fourth thing is you might love it, like it just happened to me and Randy and Lori, and you fall in love with it and it can change your life. So, and then, book a time to let us get together with you and let us get a game plan to help you get out of debt, save money, that kind of thing. And then the third thing is get your business off to a great start. I mean, they do charge $25 a month for the online training and licensing fee that ongoing to cover some of the costs of the securities license. Securities license is over $700 by itself. But at any time you say, I don't want to do it, then you stop that. So it's not like, but usually we can save people $25 a month on their car, on their car homeowners, or definitely save them on their cell phone bill. We get deep discounts with all the big carriers for that. So usually you'll save more than you'd even put out. So you make a profit right from the get-go, if you do anything, and then that's a blurred out picture of our home office. So we got the largest office building in Gwinnett County in Atlanta. Just built it just a few years ago, 384,000 square feet. Our stock just went over $50 just last week, I think.
Yeah.
Doing very, 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 very well. 4 years ago when it opened up at $15. Our company is just, it's a great time. Great time to be in Primerica. Great business. I can stand up here and talk all day. I'll go ahead and stop there. But I just hope you will not just take a little look at this or have a good meal and leave. I hope you'll set a time with the person that invited you and let them coach you, see what benefit it can be to you. And I hope you'll think about working with us on a serious basis, because if you book a little cookout or dinner, we do this big one here, but I encourage people to do one at their home. We're fixing to show you some stuff here the first of the year where our company's going to be doing church seminars in people's homes and doing like a Bible study. See, all those principles are very biblical, and the scriptures that go in between, all Rule 72 and all those different things. So we're going to be doing some of those, and so you can invite your Christian friends and show them that. We won't harass them, we'll just show them that. But once we do that, you'll find that they may be interested in some of the products. They may be interested in joining you with their business. We're going to be doing some investment dinners in people's homes. So when we recruit people, we're going to have them do that. We're going to have them do like a little investment dinner. They might invite some of their older friends, relatives, uncles, aunts, parents, grandparents, whatever, and we're going to coach them on money, and it'll be focused just on investments. And then we're going to be doing for you millennials, you younger crowd, we've got a millennium money game that's fixed to come out. And what it'll do is sort of like a family feud, it'd be like lining this side of the room up with this side of the room, and then we'll go through some of the principles, and then we'll ask a question, and whoever answers it quick gets points, and then we'll have sort of a competition, sort of a fun thing. The millennials don't want to be showing a presentation like this. They want to be engaged and be a part of it, So you'll be able to invite your millennial friends, the younger crowd, to come over for a game night. have dessert and coffee, that kind of thing, and share with them about our business sort of a different way. So we got a lot of neat stuff on the drawing board that's coming out very soon. So I would encourage you to, if you're in our business, get your licenses, get going, get moving up the ladder. I mean, you know, don't play with this. I mean, why make commission at a level here when you make commission, you know, at a level here? I've been really blessed. Last month I made right at $60,000 in a month. I used to dream. I used to dream about. I used to dream about making $60,000 a year. I thought, well, if I can make $60,000 a year, I could live like the Joneses, you know. And then I found out the Joneses were just broke on a different side of town. You know? They really didn't have it going. They really didn't have it going on. And you know, I'm just saying that for a guy like me that had 7 jobs in 7 years, it took me 3 years to get that 2-year degree in Bush man. If they pay me that, man, what will they do with you? I mean, I'm telling you, it's not about race, sex, what kind of education you got, or what kind of jobs you've had, or none of that. Doesn't matter where you're born, what side of the tracks. None of that matters here. You know, they pay the number. They issue you a little number. They pay the number. So I'd encourage you to get started. Have one of those parties I was talking about, and get your business going and have fun at it. So we have fun. I think you can see that. So I think Lori's got some handouts for you here.
Awesome job, guys. Give him a round.
Yeah, Scott. Woo! Thank you, Scott. Woo!
That is awesome. Don't forget, he's going to sign that book, y'all. So you want to make sure that you get your copy of this Larry White. By the way, this book is phenomenal. It was actually written by a senior national sales director, and it's called Serial Winner.
It's on the New York Best Time seller already.
Sellers list. New York Best Sellers list. And I'm telling you, it's a phenomenal book. Randy and I have been reading chapter 9, and it's literally changing the way that I think. And I've been here 5 years, and so you never ever want to stop growing and learning about how to think different, think more positive, think more Christ-like, everything, right? So that book is phenomenal. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to Randy's going to come and sit with y'all, okay? And then I've got a little booklet for you guys to take, and then also Scott, I believe, is going to sit with somebody. I'm going to actually sit with you guys here for a second. If the rest of you just kind of want to, you know, tone down this a little bit, that'd be great. And then I appreciate